A year ago I bought the 64GB version of the Quest 2, and about 6 months afterwards I started to run out of storage. So now I've bought the 256GB version, but what should you do? The operating system files in the headset take up about 8GB, so that takes away some of your storage straight away. So you have the 128GB version, which is your entry level headset now, and that has a usable storage of around 120GB. The 256GB version, which is the maximum storage headset you can buy, has a usable storage of around 248GB. Now I am going to mention the 64GB version because even though you can't buy this new, there are a lot of them on the second-hand market, and it may be something that you're considering. So if you chose the second-hand route, the usable storage on the 64GB version is around 56GB. My way of thinking when I bought the 64GB version was that I'm not going to be on the Quest day in, day out. I'm not really a gamer, and I'll only be dipping in and out of a few games. To give you an idea of what my storage looked like within the first couple of weeks of making purchases and downloading apps on the Quest 2, it looks something like this. I had a lot of games on the Quest 2 before I started running out of storage, and these included purchase games as well as demos and other apps. As you can see, there are a lot of games and apps on there, but you can also see some of the games and apps that I've had to delete to make room for new games. Still, my favourite game and also my biggest game on the headset so far is The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners, and this takes up more than 7GB, and it's seen 2 big updates since it was launched, and each update was around 1GB. Of course, when you delete a game you can reinstall it because you've purchased it, but you do lose all your progress. If you're happy to shuffle your games around, to uninstall games and then to reinstall games, and you have a fast Wi-Fi connection, then it may be just best to go for the lowest storage headset that you can, and that will save you money. Unless you get an absolute bargain though, I would still avoid the 64GB version on the second-hand market. I think you will outgrow it even if it takes you 18 months to 2 years. And of course, if you buy new, you do get a warranty, and if you've got the 128GB version, once that Quest bug takes hold, you will want to buy and explore new games. Whether you want to buy the 256GB version though is another question, and there are some things that you should consider that I didn't. Most games are less than 3GB, so if you only buy smaller games, then of course on a 128GB version headset, you'll fit a lot of games on there. But as I've already mentioned, Saints and Sinners is one of those games that is a lot bigger, and as the Quest market continues to grow, you'll get a lot more game developers releasing bigger games. Also, there are some games and demos that I don't play anymore, but I do like to keep them on my headset for when friends and family come over that haven't played the Quest before. First Steps, for example, blew me away as my first real introduction to the Quest 2, and I love seeing others experience that first time on the Quest as well. Other factors you want to consider are non-gaming apps such as meditation apps, fitness apps, as well as exploration apps like National Geographic. Things I didn't consider at all were screen recordings. Now I do those a lot for my YouTube channel, but you can also do screen recordings of achievements that you want to share with friends. And these recordings do take up space in your headset. And also media storage. You can store photos, videos and films on your headset, and all these take up room, especially films, which can be huge. The chances are I won't use all of the 256GB of my storage for a long time, but I have safeguarded the next few years where I can buy and download any apps or games that I want, knowing that I don't have to delete anything. The 128GB version will be fine for the majority of people, especially if you're only playing smaller games. But just bear in mind all of the things that I've talked about, and have a real hard think about how you're going to use your headset. Please subscribe for more Quest 2 tips and game reviews, and I'll see you in the next video.